Hi, this is It's Going to Be Okay with Dr. Roseann, and I'm Dr. Roseann. And today we're talking about the effect of screen time on mental health because not all screen time usage is the same, and also not all screen time is bad. Yeah, I said it. Nobody wants to hear that. There are many wonderful things about devices. We just need balance, right? And I think that's the hardest thing about getting our kids of all ages to balance out real play, real interaction, real, life. How about real skills and screen time? So if you're new to me and you're just learning about what I do and you're looking for support, join our Natural Solutions Parenting Group. It's free. It's in Facebook, drroseann.com/group. Hop in there. We all need a lifeline. And we talk about the best of what science shows us. And we talk about real solutions because guess what? You need both. So let's talk about the explosion of technology usage in kids and teenagers during the pandemic. So it was already inching up, but it literally has just blown the heck up during the pandemic. I think you already know that. So let's talk about the different types of screen time and all of those things. But on average, now, I don't want to call it post pandemic, we're still in it, is 7 hours and 22 minutes. Don't crash your car, but the average time a teenager spends is 7 hours and 22 minutes. They're slightly younger, preteenies are not too much far behind. And everyone always wants to know, like, how much time should my kid spend? I really don't have the answer for that. Every family is different. And I think it really has a lot to do with, what's going on with your kid. I mean, is it like crack for them and you're trying to remove it? And then it's just this terrible battle, which I think a lot of it can be. We're going to talk about screen time battles next, but there are a lot of things we can do where we don't have to battle so much. So I think you need to look at it and figure out what works for you. We know that the research says that not all screen time is the same. We also know through the research that younger kids who are spending way too much time. I mean, gosh, I'm like so freaked out. Like we were in, gosh, I mean, it seems like everywhere I go, but we were in a diner and there was like a group and the kids all had their iPads, little devices in front of them, and nobody was talking to the babies like the entire time. And you see it across like age of parent, across culture, across like the gender, everybody, it should never be the babysitter. Now, are there times when you need to use it? Heck yeah, I do too. How do you think I, did what I had to do? But it was limited and there was always a balance in it. And I think we're getting stuck. And I think the pandemic just sort of threw us in there, and you don't have to keep doing the same thing. You can do other things. So not all screen time is the same. Yeah. So remember, everything is nerdy, brainy stuff with Dr. Rowe. And what we know is that passive screen time scrolling is different from when you're engaged with your peers. So when you are passively scrolling, you are on YouTube after YouTube after YouTube, or, like when my kids were a certain age and they were listening to that annoying guy. I don't remember what his name was, but he would talk about Minecraft. You know what I'm talking about. And then my kids would want to talk to me about it. And I was like, don't talk to me about it. I'm serious. You know what I'm talking about. You glaze over when they want to talk to you about it. And then you try to pretend like you're interested, but I'd much rather talk about something else. Thank God my kids like watching cooking shows, So when it's passive, it is way more associated with mental health issues. And when you are engaged with your peers on your devices, right, you're doing Discord and you're playing group Minecraft and you're doing all these other things. There's so many other things I can't think of. It's actually associated with better mental health. And our way that our kids are connecting is different. And, I'd love to say that you should just never have that should never be that way. And they should be like playing kick the cans and riding their bikes and, all the things that we did. It's not happening as much. And this is where kids are, and they're doing group chats and they're doing other things. So this is what I want you to know, that we know that when they're engaged with their peers, it's associated with better mental health. So you can feel better about that. I think that becomes a priority, right? Sometimes I even let my kids have extra time if their friends are on. It's just limited. Everything's a frame. My kids now say, can I get on with my kids? How much time can I have? Like, they don't even say, can I just get on? And then it's an argument. So they know, and it's about expectations and boundaries. We're going to talk more about managing it, right? So anxiety is associated with excessive computer use, and teen depression is associated with other devices, right? Is that interesting? So I think that has to do with the type of task, right? So if you're on a PC, you're probably more likely doing a lot of schoolwork and research, and depressed kids are on their devices and probably more on social. We don't know what's behind that, but we know through research that you need to be engaged. So what can you do? How can you talk to your kids about it? It's really so critical that you have conversations before you let them get on their devices. And I always want you to know that you have to set boundaries in advance. Be clear about them. Don't get mad at your kid because you think they should know. But you can feel better about computer use. And, just because it's 7 hours and 22 minutes now does not mean that's what your kid is going to be doing. During the school year, my kids get 2 hours during the week, during, Monday to Thursday, and then more on the weekends, depending on kind of what's going on. I have friends that don't allow any computer time. That's okay. Any device time, that's all right. And then I have some friends that have unlimited. I mean, everyone's different. So you can't really say, some kids are so addicted that you must put big boundaries around it. And otherwise it's a constant conflict. So I will mention in the future episode that we're going to talk about actually structuring it. I am a huge fan of devices that control the amount of time the kids are on. Huge fan. But again, everything should be earned. It shouldn't be a given. So I hope this was really helpful for you. Feel confident, feel better that when your kids are engaged versus passive scrolling, that it does lead to actual better mental health. And if your kid is struggling and they're constantly scrolling, you need to find another activity, and you can't be pointing and yelling at your kid. It's probably something you need to get involved with, whether it's a sport or other things, because that is where your kid is at. So if you're looking for support, you can always find me at drroseann.com/help. And, wherever your kid is, start with a good conversation and don't yell, and find a path that is you both can feel good about.